So now we have the tailpiece installed on the guitar, and I've put strings on the guitar. You might notice this is a left-handed guitar, but I promise you it doesn't matter. I can tell by looking straight down on it that we were successful at getting the strings lined up directly over the frets or directly over the center of the neck, so I'm liking that. Next step is to begin playing with the position of the bridge. Got that tape out of there, and we're going to install the bridge under the strings. It's a bit fussy because there's some tension on the strings right now. Get him in there. We're going to put the strings all into their little saddle notches. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the tape removed, so you can see that location of the bridge that we marked as step 1 is really just an estimate so that we can locate the tailpiece. So I've installed the bridge underneath the strings, and I'm going to raise it up to a playable action height by just installing some sort of extra fat washers underneath both ends of the bridge, like this. Okay, I'm going to just let him float around there, and we'll work on the location of that next. So at this point, I'm going to tune the guitar up to proper pitch, and then we'll start looking at the intonation. I've tuned the guitar up to proper pitch. So the next thing we're going to do is get this bridge into the right location, mark the locations, and then drill the holes. So we do this by checking the intonation and moving the bridge accordingly. So the way this goes is this. Get some sort of a guitar tuner. I think this is called G string. It's downloadable for Android. I'm retuning the guitar having adjusted the bridge saddles. I'll play the note, I'll play the harmonic, and I'll play the 12th fret. Now this changes depending if you accidentally bend the string. You gotta be careful with this. Here's the harmonic, and here's the fretted note. Okay, so I'm going to slide it back a little bit. If we're sharp, we need to back things up. Lengthen the string if the fretted note is sharp. Okay, so that's D. Okay, that's dead on. We'll move to the next one. Okay, so if you choose, you can pre-adjust your bridge saddles to this pattern that most guitar players are kind of used to seeing, where in 2 groups of 3 they go from longer to shorter. And then we'll reinstall that on the guitar, and you'll see that you can end up with the bridge being more perpendicular to the strings with the saddles pre-adjusted that way. This is a matter of personal choice. All right, now I have the intonation set on the bridge. The bridge location is good. I'll do a quick check of each string. Okay, I'm satisfied that the intonation on this guitar is perfect. And in the end, I've sort of come up with settled on a happy medium for this. I've put a small adjustment into the saddles, and that's reduced the angle of the bridge body from the extreme angle that we had when the saddles were straight. So I look down at the strings over the frets, and I see that they're nicely centered. And so I'm happy with that bridge location. In fact, I could pick this guitar and play it if I was left-handed. So the next step is to make sure that your little spacers here are out of the way of the hole, because we're going to take a transfer punch and we're going to mark that spot on the guitar. So we're going to move these washers just a little bit out of the way so that I can see all the way through to the wood. I'm going to move these spacers back so that I can see all the way through to the wood, And this spacer here is also in the way. And I'm going to do this carefully so I don't move the bridge. I don't want to be moving the bridge. I take my transfer punch. I've selected the one that's the right, the largest transfer punch that'll go in the hole without binding. And then just give it a tap and mark this one. Okay, and we're done with this. We'll be going back to the drill press and drilling these post holes. Okay, so the next step is to drill the holes for the bridge post inserts. This requires a 1/4 inch brad point bit. It'll cut a nice clean hole in the top of the guitar. But as always, let's drill a practice hole. Now, I said we'd use the drill press for this. This is a smaller hole. It is less critical that it be absolutely vertical, so I've gone to using a hand drill for this one. You can try it and you'll probably be just fine. So I'm just going to drill a test hole. All right. Okay, and then my bridge inserts, I'm testing. Okay, and that's a nice snug press fit. That's my 1/4 inch brad point. Okay, I'll be tapping that in with a hammer. All right, so final step is to drill these insert holes for the bridge. I'll move these spacers out of the way. Okay. Slide the bridge out of the way. You don't really have to remove it. I usually don't. Give yourself enough room. And then get your 1/4 inch brad point bit. I usually, when I do this, I'm careful. I get the brad point right down in my marked hole. And I check as best I can for vertical. And I brace myself on the table with both elbows. I'm operating the drill with my thumb. I've set the depth on this bit and marked it with some tape, so I'm going to go ahead and drill. Okay. I like to check the depth on that and just confirm that I'm good. I'll compare that to, yep, I'm going to be good with that. Now we have the last hole to drill. Make sure our brad point carefully goes right in our mark. Bracing with both elbows and operating the drill with my thumb. And we'll go in. Now this customer has specified gold hardware, so for the tailpiece, the inserts are the same for gold and chrome, but for the bridge, the inserts are gold. So what we're going to do now is tap these into place. So these are going to be a press fit, and there's nothing high tech here. Just protect the guitar by don't hit it directly with the hammer, and tap it in all the way down. Okay. All right, those inserts are nicely seated. They're press fit into the guitar. We know that they're in the right location. And the last step is to put the actual bridge posts in and assemble the bridge onto the posts. Final step is to insert the bridge posts into the inserts. Okay. And place the bridge on the posts. Okay. Now I loosened the strings and I worked my way up under here and get the bridge onto the posts. Try to do this without scratching the gold and all of that. That's why I have to loosen the strings. There we go. One bridge properly installed, perfect intonation, very clean install, really easy to do, minimal tools. It's an easy process if you know what you're doing. So there you have it. That's my best effort at showing you how I install TonePros 2-pneumatic bridge and tailpiece. We started by marking and installing the tailpiece, being careful to make sure the strings are centered over the fretboard. String up the guitar, slide the bridge underneath the strings, and experimentally determine the perfect position for the bridge to be. Then we marked and drilled the insert locations for the bridge posts and set the bridge on the posts. We hope you'll find this useful, and we welcome your comments and suggestions. We will make more videos, and we welcome your suggestions on topics for the next one. Hope you'll stay in touch with us through our website, www.pvxguitars.com, or through our Facebook page, and hope you find it useful. Now, let's go build a guitar.